through the selections for Masterful Chefs. Really? Woohoo! That's great! It was a total breeze. I wasn't even trying. But a true champion never rests on their laurels. I'm still gonna need your help to prepare for the competition. I made a few new test dishes, and I was hoping everyone could try them and give some feedback. Traveler, you want to be the first? Oh, yeah, we did. And anyway, we get to eat your food all the time, so we're biased. You should find some other people this time, just to play it safe. Good idea. Okay, let me think. Let's get Beto to try it first. Beto! Yep, you can definitely trust her opinion. Let's go find her. Right now, she should be down at the docks. Let me box up this food real quick, then we can head on down. Are we interrupting anything?
Xiangling! Woman of the hour. We were just talking about you.
Beta was saying you and I should get ourselves on board sometime. Says the whole crew's been asking for us.
Seems like you three go way back. Oh, we really do! Beto and Xinyan are two of my oldest customers, and I've helped out in the kitchen on board Beto's ship in the past. Recently, Xinyan's been planning to do a show on board, too.
That's the plan. Good music's meant for sharing. You guys should check it out sometime.
Will do! But I came here today because I made it into the Masterful Chef's finals, and I was just trying out some new dishes to bring to the competition. Can you have a little taste and give me some feedback?
Sure, beats drinking on an empty stomach.
Oh, about time. I'm starving over here. Let's see what you got. Oh, man! This chicken fuyong's tasting awesome!
Oh, this food is too good for me to be soaking up the alcohol with.
These three seem to have a great time with each other.
Only thing is you've got 3 dishes here. Chicken fuyong, come and get it, and crystal shrimp, and they all taste kind of refreshing.
Is refreshing really a flavor?
When you spend all your time at sea, you don't have a lot of choice when it comes to food, especially on the longer voyages where you've got to stretch out your rations as far as you can. First thing you want to do when you get back on dry land is dig into a nice hot meal that's swimming in oil and has a ton of flavor.
That's the exact opposite of Ningguang's tastes.
Oh, sure is. Beto's tastes are pretty similar to mine and Xiangling's.
Ugh, Ningguang. I am sick of hearing that name. Our tastes couldn't be more different. You'll never find us eating the same bowl of food.
But last time when you were chatting with her, Paimon thought you two seemed to get along just fine.
We're evenly matched. Guess that makes us equals. But I'm sorry, limp cabbage leaves are never gonna do it for me.
Oh, I hear ya. Steamed cabbage and broth might be upper class and look fancy and all, but man, is it boring! It's never gonna give you that flavor explosion you get with some of the other dishes out there.
So, Xinyan, are these dishes too mild for you too?
Well, not so much mild. I just think you maybe missed a beat somewhere.
Exactly. This is some fine cooking, no question about that. But if this is for a competition, it needs more oomph.
Beat? Oomph? Are we sure these terms apply to cooking? Beat and oomph.
Beat, yeah. You know what a beat is. I only know music, though. I'm nowhere near your level when it comes to cooking, so don't mind me if it doesn't make much sense.
No, you're both completely right. Beat and oomph. That's what I need. I actually thought as much while I was cooking them. Even though this was a brand new combination, it still felt like I was missing that one thing that'll seal the deal. You know, really push it over the finish line. Seems like she's found her muse. Does that mean music theory is compatible with cooking? Hey! Paimon didn't quite get the implication, but Paimon can tell when you're being a meanie. Okay, I think I know what I need to do. Great! So this went really well.
Don't hold back, just get out there and do your thing. You're a pro, Xiangling, and you've totally got this. Hands down, best chef in Liyue Harbor. Ain't that right, Beto?
Well, I think so anyway. More than any other chef. And there ain't a whole lot of people I'd be willing to say that about.
I'll do my best. Thanks, everyone.
All right, we'll leave you to it. I'm gonna take Xinyan on board for a while.
Xiangling, they both had pretty strong tastes. You sure that won't be a problem? Shouldn't we get a second opinion from someone with milder tastes? That's a good point. Beto likes her greasy stir-fries, and Xinyan can really handle her spice. Yeah, we should get another opinion. Now, who do we know whose tastes are on the mild side? Traveler? Any suggestions? Who? Oh, right! Makes sense! So, back to Wangshu Inn? Who is it? Someone you just missed last time we were there. Huh? Oh, Paimon remembers! He said that we just need to speak his name and poof, he'll show up. Will he definitely hear us saying his name though? Maybe we should find somewhere quieter. Shouting his name! Do I need to do this too? Hyman's going first! Ahem. Shout! Nothing's happening. Let me try again. Shout! That's weird. Does he not want to hang out with us? Wait, so let me get this straight. Some guy with special powers promised you both that you just need to shout his name and he'll show up? Well, not both actually, just one of us. Oh, right. Well, you should be the one to try it then. Paimon clearly just doesn't want to feel left out. Okay then.
You called?
Whoa! He actually came!
You spoke my name, did you not? When I make you a promise, I will honor it.
Blink of an eye and poof! He's there! That's how you know he's an Adeptus. An Adeptus? Xiao, was it? Hi there! It was me who asked the Traveler to call you here. My name's Xiangling. I'm a chef. I've made it into the finals of this year's Masterful Chefs, and I'm testing some dishes out in preparation. I'm trying to get feedback from customers with all different tastes.
Customers. And that includes me?
Uh-huh. The Traveler says you prefer mild food, just the kind of person I'm looking for. If you don't mind, I'd like you to try the dishes I've made and tell me your thoughts.
Since it's you, I will do it.
Yay! How is it? Are you sure you can eat it? Don't force yourself.
Tastes pretty good.
Huh? Really? I can't believe it. An Adeptus says he likes my cooking. If my dad was here, he'd be crying tears of joy.
You excel in the culinary arts. I'm reminded of another chef I know. That chef cooks dishes with soul, as do you. Both of you are masters of your craft.
Who do you think he means? Smiley Yensho?
If I had to find fault with something, the two sides are a little strong for my taste. Some minor adjustments would take this dish from excellence to perfection. Just my own opinion. Do not fixate on it. Take it or leave it as you see fit.
All right, go easy on the sides. Okay, I got it. Thank you, Adeptus friend. It was really great to meet you.
I'll be leaving now. See you next time.
Paimon still can't believe he actually came. So, what would happen if we called his name again now? Do you think he'd come back right away? Only kinda, maybe, not really joking. Jeez. Good news. After 2 rounds of taste testing, I've had an idea on what to do next. Great! Lucky we picked the right people to talk to. I'd better head back and try this out a few times while it's fresh in my mind. Thanks for your help. Oh, and the final is in Yujing Terrace. You better come and watch. Will do. Good luck. You bet. Let's head to the competition venue. It should be starting soon.
Whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins. I can't lend them to you right now. I've lost them. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, there's no way I could come up with that amount of money on such short notice. My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss prices. That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on me. But now that I've lost the hairpins, what will I do?
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja vu?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Mr. Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Huh? Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she can help Jichao somehow. True, though surely there must be a win-win solution.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of Smaragdus Jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation may end up being significantly higher as a result.
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Jichao looks like she's about to faint.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if the jadeite is genuine or not? Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
Seems right.
Please, don't trouble yourselves over this. The fact is, I lost the item and I should pay compensation per the contract. However much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants, after all. It's vital that we keep our word and respect our contracts. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer. I'll go and inform him of the issue and then negotiate the amount of compensation.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. But before that, I have some questions about the hairpins. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins, what did you feel?
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were perfectly smooth to the touch, like the finest quality jade. My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my judgment in this matter.
Smooth to the touch. Finest quality jade. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's head over to Mr. Crossell's.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jichao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
About that.
You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay the compensation as per our contract. Every last mora.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just have her estimate the amount that needs to be paid.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Yes, and if I may just confirm again, it was in fact genuine Smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation. Please wait here, Mr. Crossell.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that they're worth.
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more detail.
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not be Smaragdus jadeite after all.
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some deductions. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hairpins were in your possession?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest bit unwell. I didn't feel anything special at all, in fact.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossell's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose his dirty scam right to his face!
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll share them with you in due course.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yanfei.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, could I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon can't even keep track. It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it, Miss Yunfei.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and then sign on this page as well. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages. Paimon's all out of brain juice again.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossell, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter, but either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... where can we find someone who processes ore? Ah, I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore. If Mr. Crossell had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yunfei. Is something the matter? Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever win? Oh, I swear on all that is sacred.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnine merchant named Crossell enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnine merchant named Crossell, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later. They're right over there, in fact.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings. Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever.
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental sight a shot. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price. And, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Miss Yanfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus Jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus Jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yanfei, but might I know the nature of the incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Singxi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singxi.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Oh, Miss Yanfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Crossell? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Inksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus jadeite?
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again!
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus jadeite.
Smaragdus jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality and their illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yenfei, and given the specific nature of your question, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus jadeite recently. A Snezhnayan merchant came to ask me about it not long ago. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yenfei, if your pressing business might be related to this Snezhnayan merchant?
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question. If we want to determine whether the ore is genuine, this is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the Nephrite, he returned the valuable Jadeite core to me, and some Nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Seems like he came prepared. What should we do next?
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus Jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's getting more belligerent by the second.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet. Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case.
What's this?
Smaragdus Jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus Jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall seriously ill. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus Jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus Jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
Huh? No, The hairpins aren't actually
inlaid with genuine Smaragdus Jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Zerchow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yep, he's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus nephrite. But I'm a victim in all of this too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus Jadeite in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat a single bite. I was in a constant state of agitation too. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all that money go to waste? That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus Jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus Jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch it again. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Zhiqiao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus Jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Ms. Zerchow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Ms. Zerchow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus Jadeite!
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus Jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Zhiqiao, you...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus Jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus Jadeite over to you. I trust that it will suffice as remuneration?
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go, but whatever. It'll do.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit and express my thanks more appropriately.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Miss Zerchow, have you and Mr. Crossell come to an understanding?
Well, yes, I believe we have.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good. That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second if I may. I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus Jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem with just a big stack of documents. Even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution. An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus Jadeite? Good, good. Then we have all the materials we need.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to your business. Granny should be able to handle the rest.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts, too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me clean my teapot, hmm?
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talking nonsense back in the day when he stood beside Rex Lapis. Indeed she is. Liyue has changed, and the Adepti must also learn to change. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Liyue is not the same place I once knew. All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic. I believe that I still owe you a little gift.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long at all. Just wait here for a moment. There we go. This Serenity pot is all yours now. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, who knows what might happen. Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more lively inside.
Wait a minute, Granny. How exactly are we supposed to use this teapot?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little helper to await you within this teapot. She will explain everything you need to know about it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Masterful Chef's Final. At the appointment of this organizing committee, I am your host and officiator, Yenfei.
Hey, Yanfei's here too!
This event is brought to you by the Liyue Qixing in collaboration with a number of participating enterprises. The competition is divided into the selections phase and the finals. We saw many contestants from all over Liyue in the selections process, and all of them were outstanding chefs in their own right. Of those, the 2 strongest participants were put through to today's finals. In just a few short moments, the finals will take place right here before your very eyes. As the officiator, it is my honor and privilege to represent the organizing committee and indeed the people of Liyue in overseeing today's proceedings. Next, please allow me to introduce the judges. There will be a select panel and an audience panel. The 3 members of the select panel are the Tianquan, Lady Ningguang, the Yuheng, Lady Keqing, and last but not least, gourmet connoisseur, Uncle Tian. In addition to these 3, 10 judges will be chosen from among the audience to sample our contestants' dishes and cast their vote. That makes a total of 13 judges with 13 votes between them. Each judge will vote for their preferred finalist, and the one who receives the most votes will be today's winner.
It's all so exciting!
And now, please join me in welcoming our 2 contestants into the arena. Come on out! To my left, a competition favorite down from Dihua. Life's harsh when you live on a marsh, but this kitchen ace will put a smile on your face. Please welcome Smiley Yanxiao.
Hi, everyone.
Whoa, Yanxiao made it into the finals too! But what's up with him? He seems really nervous. Yanxiao! Chin up, shoulders back! Everyone from the inn is super proud of you!
Huh? Oh.
And to my right, a stalwart of Liyue Harbor culinary scene, a little feisty with a whole lot of spicy. Give it up for Xiangling! And her mysterious assistant, who knows who?
Hi, my nose, it's Guava! Hey, everybody, I'll do my best!
Contestants, please repeat after me. As a finalist in Masterful Chefs, I solemnly swear to commit myself fully, compete fairly, and abide by all competition procedures.
As a finalist in Masterful Chefs, I solemnly swear to commit myself fully, compete fairly, and abide by all competition procedures.
As a finalist in Masterful Chefs, I solemnly swear to commit myself fully, compete fairly, and abide by all competition procedures.
And I, for my part, promise to uphold the principles of fairness, impartiality, and transparency in my officiation of the proceedings. Now, I will hand things over to the select panel judge, Ningguang, for the announcement of today's theme.
Thank you all for being here today at the Masterful Chefs Finals. I am the Tianquan Ningguang. The organizers have chosen the theme for today's event, and that theme is Of Earth and Waterborn.
Of Earth and Waterborn. Just like the Feast of Bounteous Land. It really captures the spirit of this year's Moonchase Festival. It's like surf and turf, but the deep and meaningful version.
The rules are simple. The one who receives the most votes wins. Tailor your dishes to the judges' preferences, or win over the audience with your originality. The choice is yours. Well then, I look forward to both of your contributions.
Contestants will have 1 hour of cooking time available and may only use ingredients provided by the organizers in their dishes. I trust this is no problem. Okay, without further ado, let the cooking commence. Begin.
Time to pull out all the stops. Show everyone why you're the best. Traveler, Paimon. Thanks for coming to support me. Don't you worry. I'm gonna make this the best tasting dish I've ever cooked. Light it up! Light it up! First things first, get the stove on. Xiao thought the side should be milder, which makes sense to contrast with the main dish. And I guess that's what Xinyan meant. You gotta have on-beats and off-beats. But at the same time, you have to end on a high note. So I think I'll add a little sugar to the crystal shrimp just to bring the flavor up a notch. Triple-layered consomme is pretty bland to begin with, and I can't have two sides with the same texture. Luckily, the Jueyun chili chicken is the main event. Can't afford to compromise too much here, but maybe some pepper will set it apart without alienating anybody. Huh? Oh, Yinxiao. He doesn't look so good. Ah, Guava!
Whoa, what's this? Hold up. Things are taking an unexpected turn on the Masterful Chef stage. Xiangling's mysterious assistant appears to be aiding her opponent. Judges, are we going to allow this? We knew in advance that Xiangling would be accompanied by a mysterious assistant, and the judges agreed that the two could be classed as one individual for the purposes of the competition. But what do we say to this?
I take no issue with it. In any case, the assistant hasn't done much in the way of assisting.
No competition would be complete without a little drama. All a part of being young. I won't be the old fogey that ruins it for them.
Please allow me to explain to our host.
Prior to the competition, the judges reviewed both contestants, and we can comfortably confirm that neither side is participating in a way that contravenes the competition rules. Xiangling is a highly accomplished chef, and her assistant is more like family to her. Xiangling prepares all of her own dishes herself. All that her assistant will do is occasionally provide a fire source. Given Xiangling's level of culinary skill, the difference between her using firewood or her assistant is a trivial one. I appreciate everyone's concerns. The presence of a mysterious assistant performing strange dance moves to cheerlead for Xiangling is a little unexpected. But the mysterious assistant has now started cheerleading for Smiley Yanxiao too, demonstrating total impartiality. By encouraging both Xiangling and her opponent, they have proven to be a fair supporter.
That's right! Guoba's not really outside help. Guoba just likes to watch people cook. I'm sure the only reason they went over there is to try to help Yanxiao feel less nervous. I give you all my word, Guoba will not interfere with the competition. And I would also say that it's a loss to the competition if Yanxiao isn't at the top of his form. I say that as someone who's eaten Yanxiao's cooking at Wang Shuin before. He is an excellent chef, and I want this to be a competition between the best we both have to bring.
I see. Most amusing. Uncle Tian, what's your opinion?
I have no objections. It's an honor and a privilege to see two contestants so dedicated to having a fair and square contest.
The judges and the officiator accept this explanation. Let the competition continue.
Yanxiao, are you alright?
I don't know what's wrong with me. I've never been so nervous in my life. Look, my hands won't stop shaking.
Take it easy. I've been there before. I can help. Try saying a tongue twister to yourself in your head. Or think of some happy memories about your dad.
Why my dad? That's a bit specific.
'Cause that's what I do.
I guess I'll think of my mom then. Anyway, you should carry on. I'll be fine. Don't hold up your own dishes on my account.
Nothing's being held up. I'm finished already.
Huh? Oh, right. Then I need to focus up and win this thing.
There you go. That's the attitude we want. You're a very capable chef, Yanxiao. So come on, show everyone what you're made of, just like you showed us last time at Wang Shuin.
Yes, you're right. I can do this. I can do this. Thank you, Xiangling. And thanks to your, well, thanks. Time for me to get cooking.
Time's up! Both contestants have now finished cooking. I would like to invite them to present their dishes to the judges for evaluation. We will proceed in the order that the contestants finished. Xiangling, please describe your dish.
My dish is Jiyun chili chicken with sides of triple-layered consommé and crystal shrimp. The theme is of earth and waterborne, which includes land and sea. In other words, land animals, fowl, and seafood are all potential ingredients. My main dish, Jiyun chili chicken, is a combination of fowl and chilies. Jiyun chilies capture the essence of the mountains where they grow, and fowl is a gift from the heavens. Triple-layered consommé also uses fowl, and its other ingredients are ham and bamboo shoots. These are also flavors from the mountains, but they complement and contrast with the chicken dish, fresh instead of spicy, cold instead of hot. The crystal shrimp is made from a combination of rice, shrimp meat, and carrot. A thin, translucent skin wraps diced carrot and a whole shrimp, fresh, crispy, and tender. Shrimps are a gift from the ocean. Tightly wrapping them in a skin made from rice makes this dish a blend of land and sea, fresh with a hint of sweetness. It's the perfect note to end this course on.
Ooh, a strong delivery there from Xiangling. Let's see what our next contestant Yanxiao has to say.
My dish is Adeptus Temptation with a mint salad and golden shrimp balls. As Xiangling says, earth and water means land and sea. So birds, land animals, and seafood were also the ingredients I incorporated. Adeptus Temptation is a much-loved dish in Liyue, and as chef of Wang Shuin, I've always been proud to offer this as the signature specialty dish of our menu. It's a complex dish with very particular ingredients: smoked ham, crab, fresh shrimp meat, and matsutake. I chose this as my main dish as a sign of respect toward my profession and to this competition. The mint salad is my first side. Cool and tender with a subtle sweetness, it's a perfect answer to the rich and strong flavors of the Adeptus Temptation. Golden shrimp balls is a time-honored classic loved by everyone. A hearty and wholesome broth, followed up with a shrimp ball. Oh, pure bliss.
Paimon can smell it from all the way over here! It's driving Paimon crazy!
Judges, please sample the dishes.
Very impressive. Both contestants' dishes are well considered, expertly made, and truly delicious. I'm gonna have another golden shrimp. I shall have to sample both contestants' dishes once more before I can reach a verdict.
Now, Xiangling has taken an interesting approach here. She's chosen a cold dish as her main. I have to say, that's a bold move. It's also a unique take on Jueyun chili chicken. Although the dish as a whole is served cold, the chili peppers have been stir-fried, and so they're still just a little warm on the inside. You get a nice crunch as you bite in. Then you get the spiciness and warmth all coming in together, and then just a hint of that wonderful pepperiness to top it all off. It's quite simply extraordinary.
This Adeptus Temptation is quite exceptional. The triple layer consomme is also a very superlative contribution. Excellent flavor, well balanced between sweet and savory. Yes, the standard is very high.
Judges of the select panel, I will now ask you to consider your votes carefully before writing them down and handing them to me. Also, the organizing committee has selected today's audience judges, and they are now evaluating the dishes. Everyone who's been lucky enough to sample today's dishes, please consider and cast your vote independently.
How are we not involved in this? Why didn't they pick us to be judges? Paimon has buckets of passion and oodles of expertise when it comes to food. If they don't want Paimon, it's their loss. Yippee! For all the chefs there are in the world, and for all the amazing dishes they can cook, the fact remains that you're the one who treats Paimon the best.
Thank you all for waiting. All votes have been received and counted, and the results have been returned to Ningguang. I now invite Ningguang to take the floor and announce the results of the Masterful Chef's Finals.
It is my pleasure to announce that the winner of the Masterful Chef's Finals is... by a mere 1 vote margin, Xiangling!
Wow! What? How is it so close?
Well, there it is. I knew it.
It was a close contest, but we have a winner. Liyue Harbor's Xiangling has beaten Dihua Marsh's Yanxiao by just 1 vote. There can only be one winner, but the fact that this was so close shows just how much both of these outstanding chefs managed to impress our judges. Thank you both for your stellar contributions here today. A big thank you to all the audience for being here today, especially those who have come from far and wide. As officiator, I declare the result of this competition to be fair and valid, thus bringing the Masterful Chef's Finals to a close.
Thank you all for coming. Until next time.
Please exit the venue in an orderly fashion, and remember to take all of your personal belongings with you.
Come on, let's go over and take a look. Looks like I won this time, Yanxiao. But I'd still like to try your dishes, if that's okay.
Sure, I'll have a try of yours too. truly exquisite. No doubt in my mind why you're the winner here.
This Adeptus Temptation is really good. It's so fresh, I'm almost moved to tears.
Well, just goes to show that you have a taste for the finer things in life.
No, you've got me all wrong. We're just a small neighborhood restaurant too, so I totally understand. Food is life, and customers are at the heart of all food culture. So humble food cooking is not to be looked down upon.
Is that right? Huh. I'd heard you'd gotten famous for your experimental approach to cooking and were all about fancy and exclusive foods. Never realized you'd done your time in a small kitchen too. Well, there you have it. All the greats come from the smaller places.
The same goes for you. You can't work in an inn kitchen unless you know how to consistently please customers. It's no wonder your food is so top-notch.
You're the kind of competition I'm glad to have. Let's stay in touch. Maybe we can find some time in the future to trade tips.
You got it. And next time we meet as competitors, let's both be even better than we are now.
All right, deal.
Traveler, Paimon! Thanks for coming. Did you get to try the food?
Don't even go there. Paimon's still peeved.
I can't believe it. You didn't get picked? Well, never mind. Don't get mad. I'll make some more for you when we get back.
You will? Woohoo! Great!
Oh, the organizer said that Yenshao and I need to go register our delivery addresses. Apparently they're gonna deliver an exclusive ingredients package and the prize money at a later date. So I need to get moving. I'll come find you guys after.
Xiangling seems really happy. Good for her. Looks like Kuching and Ningguang left already. As the organizers, they must have gone to wrap up some last-minute things. Let's go ask them for an update about the statue. Kuching, there you are!
Oh, you found me.
Huh? Is everything okay?
Traveler, I have found myself in something of a predicament. In the competition, I voted for Smiley Yenshao.
So you're frustrated because you can't go back and vote for Xiangling instead?
No, that's not it. As a judge, I had a duty to remain objective. I made my decision after thinking about it very carefully, and my conscience is clear. Xiangling is my friend, so by rights, I should be honest with her about this. But, as you know, I voted based purely on my personal opinion. As a contestant, Xiangling may not be able to appreciate this, and I do not know how to deal with people of her temperament. I just don't know how to break it to her.
It's no big deal. Just say it however comes naturally. Xiangling of all people isn't bothered about that kind of stuff. And anyway, she still won in the end.
Oh hey, here you are. I've been looking for you for ages.
Xiangling, there's something I need to tell you.
What is it?
My grandfather always said to me, in contests of food, always follow your heart. Which is to say that in gastronomical disputes, or indeed competitions, one must cast their vote for the party that they agree with. This decision must be based on one's honest thoughts, not influenced by any external factors. Of course, that was just my grandfather's opinion, but I have to say, I am inclined to think he had a point. So, despite the fact that I am your friend, I cast my vote for Smiley Yenxiao's Adeptus Temptation. Well, maybe it was. I like golden shrimp balls. Is that a problem?
You were acting so serious that I honestly thought something was up. It's fine. Doesn't bother me one bit.
Huh?
You voted for who you wanted to, and that's totally okay. In fact, that's exactly how it should be. Otherwise, how could it be a fair competition? So, you made a point of telling me. Is that because you were worried that it made you a bad friend?
Don't be absurd.
Didn't I say already? I love this about you. You're just so conscientious about everything. Half-baked feedback just isn't meaningful to me at this stage. Seeking reassurance is what novices do, and it's been a long time since I was a novice. The way forward from today will only get more challenging, as will the dishes I'll need to cook. Honestly, I'll need friends like you along the way. You have a strong sense of responsibility, Kuching. But you know, not everything is always about responsibility. Yes, you're a Qixing, but you're also you, Kuching. When you're with friends, you don't need to think about everything so thoroughly. You know that's what Ningguang's like, right? Beido's always telling me about how well she gets along with Ningguang. They even play chess aboard her ship sometimes. So you see, Ningguang's kind of bold in that she doesn't let her identity and reputation get in the way of her ability to have a good time. You could take a leaf out of her book. Outside of work, it's time to let go and relax.
Traveler, Xiangling, anyway, what are we standing around here for? Let's go and check on the status of the Stove God statue.
Oh yeah! Paimon had nearly forgotten about that. Let's go see. How strange. It hasn't changed one bit. This doesn't make any sense. We cooked our hearts out. Does this mean the competition wasn't enough to awaken the statue?
Oh well. I suppose it was simply not meant to be.
Yeah, we've waited this long already. There's no harm in waiting a little longer. Right, Xiangling? Yep, there's still time. Let's be patient. We'll all see this through together. On another note, I have some good news for you, Kuching. Things are looking optimistic for that recipe you gave me. Master came by before the competition and filled in the parts that were missing. So now I'll be able to cook it. In fact, I'll go find somewhere to make it right now. Wait here.
Xiangling.
Oh, and Traveler, could you come with me? Huh? You only just beat Smiley Yanxiao! You think you're up for challenging us already? Obviously not what I meant. You collect recipes, don't you? I thought you'd probably be needing this dish during your travels, so I figured I'd share it with you. Oh, right! Paimon knew that. Sheesh, we totally misread that situation. Huh? Jeez, careful eating your words so fast, you'll give yourself heartburn.
What are you staring at me for? Go on, go get on with your cooking.
you I'd win. Looks like. Let's go give it to Kuching. Mine's ready too. Let's go together. We're back. The Traveler and I made one each. Here, have a taste while it's still warm.
Thank you. Don't mind if I do.
Huh? What is it? What does that face mean?
This flavor. I've tasted it before. Apologies. Xiangling, Traveler, thank you both. This is everything I had hoped it would be. It tastes wonderful and, quite amazingly, somehow it took me right back to my childhood, when my grandfather was still around.
Really? That's awesome! I didn't have a chance to fully explain before. In fact, when Master had filled in the missing parts of the recipe for me, I realized that I already knew how to make this dish. You already knew? You mean you were able to make this without ever seeing the recipe? Uh-huh. My dad taught me how to make it. Wait, but isn't this dish from Kuching's grandpa's notes, though?
About that. I do not believe that this recipe was my grandfather's creation. My grandfather was a well-known real estate tycoon in Liyue, and also a scholar. He was an avid collector of old books and was quite knowledgeable on many of Liyue's customs and traditions that are no longer practiced. As a child, I used to spend a lot of time with him in his study. We'd read the classics together, then debate how much of it was actually genuine, and whether Rex Lapis was real or not. He used to say, books are just a bridge that bring us a little closer to history. It's up to those of us in later generations to ask these questions, search for the answers, and decide what they mean. Since then, my grandfather has passed on, and I've grown up to become a Chising. My views on Rex Lapis have changed in this time too, from myth to reality. For me, the name Rex Lapis is inextricably wound up with memories of my grandfather. Whenever I see his name written down, it always reminds me of sitting in my grandfather's study, seeing all of his notes. As I said earlier, this recipe came from those same notes. It's an ancient dish that he was trying to restore to its original form. But, unfortunately, without the full recipe, he never quite succeeded. Still, each time he tried cooking it, he'd always get me to have a taste while it was still warm. The memories. This really is the taste of my childhood.
Ancient dish? Are Are cornbread buns really that old?
Well, at least in my family it is. My dad learned how to make it from his dad, and supposedly it's been passed down that way for generations. We call them chili mince cornbread buns. They're a traditional folk food snack, easy to pack up and take with you on the road. So they're the perfect thing to eat on the go. Seeing Guoba just reminded me of something. I actually made this dish on the day I first met Guoba. How did you first meet? It was in a cave in the mountains. I ducked inside to get out of the rain and saw an offering table in there, so I put the cornbread buns I'd brought with me on it. Then I ended up falling asleep, and when I woke up, I found out that Guoba had eaten every last one. Guoba followed me around ever since. We're practically family now.
Hold up! Stop the conversation! Look! The stone! It burst open!
It's... Guoba? What are you... What?
Ah, I see the chili mince cornbread buns have been served.
Master! Granny, look! The stove god statue looks just like Guoba!
Oh, indeed it does. After all, Guoba is the deity you've been searching for. God of the stove.
Guoba is a god?
You asked me if a sufficiently festive atmosphere would be enough to reawaken the stove god. And my answer is this. Yes and no.